It's your girl Sonja Jade, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. Alright, so today I'm going to be reviewing Teen Mom Young and Pregnant Season 2 Episode 1. I just got done watching it. It's late, but I'm going to try to upload this video tonight, so bear with me. We're going to get through this, okay? I wanted to do this review because I like this episode, and I watched last season, which was the first season, and I didn't really see a lot of people do reviews on it, and I kind of tried to look for some, and I eventually did see like a few people do some, but I just figured, why don't I do my own? So let's talk about tonight's episode, okay? Alright, so I'm gonna just go ahead and just go one by one. You know, obviously there's 5 girls, so I'm gonna just talk about each girl. Alright, so first we're gonna talk about Ashley. Now, excuse me, it leaves off talking about where they left off after Bar's, excuse me, I'm going burpee. Bar's surprise birthday party that Ashley tried to throw him that went to shit because his mom came and everything happened. So they're still not talking, and then she goes to talk to her sister and says, you know, she feels bad for what happened and I want you guys to make up, and she wants, you know, trying to resolve things with Bar. And then, so, you know, eventually they make up. Eventually Bar makes up with his sister, and eventually, I mean her sister, eventually Bar and Ashley make up, which I knew they would. By the way, side note, I like Ashley and her sister's relationship. I believe her name is Chris. I like their relationship. I feel bad that Bar's brother is going to jail, that he's facing basically life. You know, he said that he wasn't, if he's guilty, he's not going to be able to basically be free ever again. So if he's not doing life, he's obviously probably doing like a long stretch. So, and he's in there for murder. He's on trial for murder. So I do feel bad. My heart goes out to him, and I'm praying for you, Bar, and I'm sorry to hear that. But then, you know, in the midst of all that, she decides to post stuff on social media, I guess, about Ashley and whatever. And so Ashley decides, after everything that's happened from season 1 that she's told us, that we've seen ourselves, and then, you know, I guess her also blasting her on social media after her being still upset that Ashley is not really wanting to be around her, Ashley decides to file a restraining order. They go to court. You know, I feel bad for Bar because I understand that he's in a tough spot right now. I get it. It's hard for people to deal with tough situations, and then also he's young too. We have to understand he is young. You know, his brother's facing serious jail time. He may never see him outside again, you know. I mean, even if you go to prison, you're still alive, and that's a blessing. You can still see him, but at the same time, it's like, to know I'll never be able to see my brother outside of a jail cell again, and I probably will only be able to visit him every so often. Like, that's hard. That's a lot to deal with. And to know your brother has to be there, someone you love and care about has to be there for the rest of their life. Like, that's a lot to deal with, and I feel really bad for Bar. And then on top of that, it's like his mom and his wife, girlfriend, fiance isn't getting along, and he loves them both. That's his mom, that's his fiance, they have a child, and I feel bad. But at the same time, I will say this, I will say there are a few things I can say Ashley could have handled better in certain situations, but at the same time, it's like, regardless, if I can see from her standpoint and a lot of other people's standpoint, regardless if that's your mom or not, I'm not going to let someone disrespect me or treat me any kind of way just because they're older than me or because that's your mom. So, and a lot of the things that she's done that it has been proven facts has been some disrespectful shit, especially as your mother-in-law, someone that you're supposed to want to look up to and you want to put your child around. And it's like you don't even feel comfortable around her, and you don't even feel comfortable putting your child around her because of all the bullshit she does. So it's like, I mean, Bar's mom is in the wrong for a lot of this shit. You know, she's way older, and I understand in some instances people are so immature that they may be 50, but their mindset's still at 10. And I think that's what it is with her. She may be grown, she may be a grandma, she may have kids, but she still acts immature as fuck. Period. But I get it, you know, that's his mom at the end of the day. So he wants to protect her, and he don't want this to happen. And I get it, and that's fucked up, and I understand, I feel bad, you know, but at the end of the day, you gotta see shit for what it is. And you have to sit in it, and you have to deal with it. Because if you can't get rid of it, you can't just forget about it. You gotta get through it so you can move on and heal and get better. And they're gonna have to find a resolve somehow, but the mom is really the problem. I will say Ashley can handle some things better, but at the same time, she's defending herself. And at the same time, she's a young woman trying to figure things out. And then a grown woman who's supposed to be grown is coming at her disrespectfully as someone who's supposed to be her fiance's mother and someone she's supposed to look up to. So and then it's like, your son's on trial. I wouldn't even be giving a damn about Ashley. Like, my child's on trial. I may never see him outside a jail cell again, outside the walls of a jail again. And I'm gonna beef with this little girl. And I understand maybe she's stressed, so she's taking it out on Ashley. But at the same time, it's like, that's immature. And you have a lot of other things to worry about and deal with. And Ashley's not one of them. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's your mom that needs to get it together. And maybe you guys need to all sit down in counseling or individual counseling, but something needs to happen. All right, so we're going to move on to Kayla. So, you know, her and Stefan... Is it Stefan or Stefan? I think it's Stefan. Haven't been together for a year. Basically, since we seen them start the season last year, they haven't been in a relationship. You know, they've been fooling around or whatever, but they haven't been in a relationship together, which is understandable. In the beginning of the episode, like the first half, they weren't speaking, the mom and Stefan. They still were not talking. He wasn't allowed at the house. You know, he apologized on the reunion, but I guess it was half-assed to her, so nothing changed. Sorry, it's late, so throat's kind of going out. He kept giving his reasons as to why he didn't really want to give a full apology or whatever, and, you know, why he felt like whatever. And, you know, I don't know how he was raised. You know, he didn't have his father in his life, so I get that he wasn't, I guess, properly raised. I don't know what you want to call it, but at the same time, it's like, he doesn't realize, he's so fucking disrespectful. He doesn't realize how disrespectful he is. He's disrespectful as fuck, and he doesn't realize it. And the sad part is the women and the people around him don't check him because either they're afraid or they don't have a voice for themselves. Case in point, Kayla. Case in point, Kayla's mom. Like, and it's sad to just see them be... It's like he talks to them like they're children. Like, it's sad. It's sad to watch. It's like, goddamn. Like, sometimes I do understand the point he's trying to relay, but the way he comes off and how aggressive and like it's just like, okay, like, you're not my father, you're not my mother, and you don't have to be so aggressive. And it's like, he comes off so aggressive when he wants his respect, but then he's so disrespectful and does things that he knows he shouldn't do, or he'll cross the line or not meet the line and then get upset when people are like, okay, well, I don't want to fool with you. Then he'll come back at Kayla or the mom like a pit bull. And then they just sit there and take it because, you know, they don't have a voice for themselves, or they're afraid. Maybe they're afraid of them. And I mean, they're afraid. And it's kind of sad to watch, but, and then you see on the previews that he hits her. Like, oh my goodness. Like, I pray that she never gets back with this dude, like, ever, because it's too much. Like, he needs to get it together. But he does finally apologize. And I feel like she doesn't trust him. And she has every reason to not trust him. Like, the way she looks at him sometimes when he says things and stuff, it's like her mind is going in... It's like it's going in one ear and out the other, and her mind is wandering off. And I understand why she feels that way. I get it wholeheartedly. But it's just sad to see it. And it's like she's not even speaking up for herself, or, you know... like, she'll say it behind the scenes on the camera, but she won't say it to him. You know, she'll just let him kind of bully her. And instead of, like, saying how she feels, she'll just take it. And he flakes on the appointment, case in point. And I guess what happened was he went out of town and she tried to call him or something like that, and he wasn't answering. And then by the time he did see she was calling and stuff, she had already left. So oh, my throat. So he was mad at her, you know, cussing her out and stuff, saying like, you left me, whatever. Then she blocks him because she's mad he missed the appointment, and also, you know, the way he talked to her. And then he comes to the house going off. If you watch the episode, which I'm sure you did, which is why you're watching this review, the way he, like I said, the way he talks to her, the way he talks to the mom like that too, it's just like, he just yells and demands, and it's just so aggressive. It's like he talks to them like they're children, and he is the aggressive, abusive father that's like, you're gonna do this and that because you're the kid. I mean, it's like, wow. And it's like he's relying on them more than they're relying on him, but he runs them. And I just hope they get that together. So we're gonna move on to Jade. So at the reunion, we see Sean and Jade are together, but then we see on the show they broke up. She gave him another chance. Their relationship, I didn't really understand it in the first season, but I kind of see the dynamic a little bit better now. It's very toxic. And as she's revealing more of what goes on, I understand what I see it more. But I will say I also see that she has a lot of negative energy amongst herself too. And I can see a lot of the things she says sometimes back to him is like kind of negative and biting back. So it kind of makes it worse. But I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm just saying when you have one hothead and you have another hothead, it's not good. And one always has to win. So, and then Sean decides, you know, after he's on the phone with his sister, that he wants to go to counseling to, you know, for himself, which I think is a great thing. And I think it's always good when people recognize they have a problem, or they recognize that they have an issue in communicating, or whatever they recognize they have an issue in, and they decide to go look for help and get counseling and seek help. I think that's a great thing, and I hope he actually does it. The problem is, I just hate when people do that and then get the counseling and then they don't apply the work that it takes to actually be a better person and change for the better. So hopefully he actually goes and continues to go and he changes. I'm sorry, I just have to say it. I didn't really like Jade's hair color. I thought it didn't look good at all. When she first came home, it just kind of looked like a weave, like as if like somebody made a colorful lace front and decided to dye the roots brown, or leave the roots the way it was, like it came like a brunette weave, and they left it like it was and was just like, I'm gonna dye it purple with some lighter tips. Like, and even the root just looked so dark, it looked like a lace front. Like, but at the barbecue it looked better though. When she had the braids, it looked like the dye had came out a little bit, and she had the braids, and her makeup was cute and stuff, so it looked better. But yeah, I don't think, she said she was dyeing it purple. If she meant to dye the whole head purple, it didn't look good at all. And I know she had dyed her hair multiple colors before, so it's probably why it didn't come out right. But I feel like maybe someone else could have did a better job. I just was not here for that. And then, you know, her hair just looks so damaged. Oh, thank God I'm natural. But anyways, then the barbecue comes around. Oh, excuse me, I'm gassy. And she gets in an argument with her mom. It's always sad to see people not able to get along with their family members, especially their intermediate family, who they should be closest to, like their parents or their siblings, children, you know. there's just a lot of background history that they have shared a little bit of, but also that we don't know, that as to why every time they're around each other, they always lash at each other. You know, obviously there's resentment in, I guess, both sides, but I mean, really more so Jade's, and I can really more so understand where she's coming from, because it's like, as a child, you want your parent to be the parent they're supposed to, you think they're supposed to be. And from what it seems like, her mom was not that parent. And she said it repeatedly last season, and she said it tonight. So, you know, they need to go to counseling as well. Moving on to Brianna. So this girl wants to move her new boyfriend with her, and they're moving, I guess, to Oregon. Her mom is moving to Oregon, and she's going to go along with her mom and bring her boyfriend and her son. I try not to judge people, because I do understand that, you know, some people are in love with love and they like to be in relationships, but at the same time, it's like, when you have children, you cannot always bring your child around everyone you're dating. And I'm not trying to judge the girl, because I understand she's young and she doesn't really know much. She really doesn't. She doesn't know much. But at the same time, it's like, you got to learn to see you got to learn to take a step back sometimes and see, maybe I shouldn't do that. And hopefully one day she does that. I hope, you know, this works out with this guy, but if it doesn't, I pray the next dude she dates, she does not bring him around her son within 2 months and has her son call him dad. Like, seriously, like, please wait for a ring or something before you immediately jump right into this we're family thing. Like, please. But I do understand she's young, so I'm trying not to judge. Honestly, I think it's good that she's, you know, looking into getting help for her son. And, you know, I wish the best for her son, and he's a cute little boy. I don't understand why they're moving, though, because honestly, if you guys are struggling that hard to even get a place out there to even survive, why are you moving? If you got a job out here and a place out here, why don't you just stay out here? If you're moving out there for family, there's no point, because obviously they can't help you because you don't got a place to go. So what's the point? Like, you can't move for people, you got to move for you. If you don't ain't making no money, what you moving for? But I don't know, I'm not trying to judge, I'm just trying to understand. So I don't get that part. But she's bringing her boyfriend along with her, and I mean, you know, it's nice that he wants to go and he loves her that much, but we'll see what happens. Alright, lastly, we're going to move on to Lexi. Honestly, I didn't really care for her too much last season. I thought she was kind of like reserved and quiet. She did speak about her experience and stuff, but she just kind of bored me. I'm just going to be honest. Her boyfriend does too. Only person that really has personality on her side of the camp is her mom. But, you know, this episode was a little bit more interesting. Her storyline was actually probably one of the more interesting ones tonight, in my opinion. Her and Tyler are back together, which she's happy about. But now, she's in a pickle because he wants to move to Arizona as soon as they graduate. And she thinks that they should stay because, you know, they've never even lived together before. They're still young. They just had a baby. They're not 100% financially equipped and blase, blase, blase. And it makes sense. And, you know, I understand where he's coming from too, but at the same time, it's like he's not trying to compromise at all with her. He thinks that she doesn't want to move because of her mom. And he and his mom seem to believe that she's attached to her mom to the point where she doesn't want to move, and anything her mom helps her with is because she's trying to keep her here, and her mom's just babying her, and that's the only way they see it. And so he's like, your mom's babying you, you're on her titty, you're attached, let's go. I want to leave, I'm getting my way this time, and I don't care. And she's like, and her points are valid, but she's not being 100% vocal with him. She's vocal with everyone else. She's vocal with her mom. She's vocal with us. She's vocal with her friends. With Tyler, it's like she's vocal with him, but it's like vocal fry. Like, it's like she is saying how she feels, but at the same time, it's like she's not giving how she feels all the way. It's like she's speaking from her mind, not her heart. Like, she's not really giving it to him. She's just kind of just like giving her answers, and then he bullies her down, and then she's like, okay. And that's, it's like, I hate seeing that, you know? I just hate seeing that. I hate seeing anybody feel like that, but I especially hate seeing, like, when guys, you know, make us women feel like we don't know what we're talking about, or it's like, you know, I hate seeing that. And especially with young women, because it's just like, when you're young, you're just trying to figure it out. And she's young, she's just trying to figure it out. I don't even think she did. She just graduated high school, but, like, I think it's like the summertime, so they're trying to figure it out. So it's like, she's just trying to figure it out. She wants to be with him. That's the father of her son. But what she doesn't seem to understand, and a lot of women don't seem to understand, it's like, just because you have a child with someone, that doesn't mean you have to force yourself to be with them. Sadly, we're genetically made, and we live in a world, but also not even in a world, because genetically we're made to be able to have sex with anybody and get pregnant by anybody, regardless of how we feel about them, whether we care about them, love them, or not. So you can literally fuck a hobo and get pregnant by them. Doesn't mean you gotta be with them, you just got pregnant by the hobo. And it's like, sometimes you gotta realize when somebody's not good for you. And I'm not saying he's not good for her, but at the same time, it's like, there's so many red flags that can be another video. So that's my thought on that. And also, one more point I want to say. I feel like him and his mom need to get off Lexi's back, because, and also the mom's back too, and hopefully at the reunion the mom says something, and not in a confrontational way, but just in a way that she explains to his mom, and also maybe even to Tyler, like, look, I'm not trying to spoil and coddle my daughter, but just because you, and not in a shady way, but just, let's just be trill. Just because you and your son have a different relationship as to where you do not want to, or you're not able, or whatever the case may be, to where you know, financially help your child that is literally still a child. They're not even legal. They're both, I think Lexi and him are 18, but they literally just turned 18. And they both have no, they both have no job. So, ma'am, please tell me how you thought she was going to even be able to pay for the car if she has no job. Like, I understand why Tyler thinks like that, because he gets it from his mom. She was, like, literally just talking with the same thing he was talking on the couch. And it's like, I don't know how she raised him. I don't know how she was raised, and I'm not judging. But at the same time, let's be real, lady. It's normal, ma'am, for parents to help their children, their teenage children, get a car, or help their teenage children pay a bill or a bill or two when they move out or whatever. It is normal. A lot of parents can't do it. That's the difference. A lot of parents can't do it, but it is normal. A lot of parents who are able to do it do it. It's normal. It just doesn't happen for some people. Maybe not you and your son, because maybe you're not financially able, or maybe you don't want to, and that's fine. But it is normal for people to do that. There's parents who pay for their children's weddings. And I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but people do it. It's not a bad thing. And it's not like she paid for the whole thing. She helped her. Also, I mean, Lexi has no job, and she's 18 years old with a newborn baby. She's gonna need help. Like, what do you think? She's supposed to just do everything by herself? Because I could have swore a couple months ago your son didn't even want to be with her, and he was willing to help out, but he barely wanted to do it. He had to be convinced to be around, if I'm mistaken. So, no. I hope if you guys like this video and you like me doing reviews on Teen Mom, Young and Pregnant, go ahead and like this video if you want to like it. You can subscribe to my channel if you want to see me do more videos like this, and comment down below if you want to, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye and good night.